I walk alone across the African savanna under a wide, pale sky, my white clothes standing out against the tall yellow grass, my blonde hair moving with the dry wind. I am a white man, moving slowly, scanning the open land with calm attention as insects circle low and distant birds cut across the horizon. I stop when the silence breaks in an unnatural way, not with sound but with movement, as shapes shift in the grass ahead of me. I narrow my eyes and notice a small form in the open, isolated and trembling against the vastness of the savanna. I recognize a baby elephant standing alone, its small body tense, its legs stiff and uncertain, its skin dusty and marked by stress. The baby elephant sways slightly, struggling to stay balanced, its ears partially spread in confusion and fear. I take a cautious step forward and realize the danger surrounding the baby elephant as several adult hyenas form a loose circle at a distance. The hungry hyenas move slowly, their ribs visible, their heads low, their eyes fixed on the baby elephant with calculated patience. I remain still, fully aware of my own presence. A white man with blonde hair, wearing light-colored white clothing suited for the heat, standing exposed in the open savanna. I feel the tension in my chest as I understand that my movement alone could shift the balance of this fragile moment. I observe how the baby elephant turns its head repeatedly, searching for help that does not arrive, its breathing heavy, its posture lowered in exhaustion. The hyenas tighten their circle, each step deliberate, each pause filled with threat. I do not move closer yet, but I stay visible, knowing that the situation is escalating and that the baby elephant cannot survive alone. The dry grass bends under the hyena's paws as they inch inward, while the baby elephant remains trapped in fear at the center of the open land. I stand there, silent and focused, aware that my decision will matter, aware that time is already working against the baby elephant, and aware that this moment is asking for action without a single word being spoken. I stay where I am, but the distance between danger and the baby elephant shrinks with every slow step the hyenas take. The circle tightens, uneven and deliberate, and I see how the baby elephant's legs tremble harder, the effort of standing becoming visible in its entire body. The sun feels harsher, now pressing down on the savanna, draining strength from everything beneath it. I sense how time works against us, because the baby elephant's breathing grows heavier, and its movements become slower, less controlled, as fear and exhaustion combine. I notice the hyenas changing their behavior, no longer just watching, but testing the space, stepping closer, stopping, then advancing again. Their hunger is clear in their posture, in their low heads and focused eyes, and I understand that hesitation on my part gives them confidence. I shift my weight slightly and realize how exposed I am, a white man in white clothing, standing alone with no cover, no vehicle, and no immediate tools. I know I cannot rush forward without provoking the hyenas, and I cannot stay frozen while the baby elephant weakens. The baby elephant stumbles for a brief moment, its front legs bending before it, recovers, and that small loss of balance changes everything. The hyenas react instantly, tightening their formation, bodies lowering, muscles ready, sensing opportunity. I feel pressure building in my chest as I calculate distance, numbers, and risk. I understand that the savanna offers no protection here, only open ground and clear lines of sight. Every second stretches longer than the last, and I know that if nothing changes soon, the next movement will not be hesitation, but attack. I decide that waiting any longer is no longer an option, and I take a slow but deliberate step forward into the open space of the savanna. I make my body larger without running, keeping my movements controlled so I do not trigger an immediate attack. I raise my arms slightly in advance with steady pacing, making sure the hyenas notice me clearly. Their attention begins to split, some eyes shifting from the baby elephant to me, reassessing this new variable entering their calculated space. I reach for the emergency flare attached to my belt, my hands steady despite the tension in my chest. I know the light and sudden brightness can disrupt predatory focus without causing harm. and I prepare to use it only when the distance becomes critical. The flare ignites with a sharp burst of light, cutting through the dry air of the savanna. I hold it away from my body, standing firm, my white clothing reflecting the brightness as the hyenas recoil slightly, startled by the unexpected visual threat. I move closer to the baby elephant now, positioning myself between the weakest side of the circle and the trembling animal. The baby elephant remains frozen, but its breathing begins to slow. As my presence blocks the most direct approach, I signal toward the horizon where a wildlife rescue vehicle approaches in the distance, barely visible but moving fast across the open land. I maintain my stance, focused and unyielding, knowing that this intervention must hold long enough for help to arrive. The situation reaches its breaking point as the hyenas test the boundary again, stepping forward despite the flare and my presence. I feel how thin the line is between control and chaos, knowing that one wrong move could trigger a full attack. The baby elephant suddenly cries out with its body, not with sound, but with movement as its legs buckle again under stress and exhaustion. For a brief second, its body lowers dangerously close to the ground, exposing its neck and side. The hyenas react instantly, abandoning caution as several of them surge forward at once. Their movements are fast and decisive, closing the remaining distance in a rush that leaves no room for hesitation. I step forward without retreat, placing myself fully between the charging hyenas and the falling baby elephant. I raise the flare higher and swing it outward, creating a wall of light and motion that forces the closest hyenas to veer away at the last possible moment. The rescue vehicle finally breaks the horizon at full speed, its size and movement changing the entire dynamic of the scene. Dust explodes behind it as it approaches, and the hyenas hesitate, caught between hunger and survival. In that instant, the decision shifts everything, as the combined presence of the vehicle, the flare, and my unwavering stance overwhelms the predators. The hyenas turn away one by one, retreating into the tall grass, leaving the baby elephant alive in the open savanna. The savanna slowly settles after the danger passes, and the silence returns in a different form, no longer tense, but cautious and open. I remain close to the baby elephant, lowering my posture to appear less threatening, keeping my movements slow and predictable. The baby elephant lifts its head, slightly, its breathing steadier now, its legs still weak but holding. Dust clings to its skin, but fear no longer controls its body in the same way. I watch carefully, making sure the hyenas are truly gone before shifting my attention fully to the animal. The rescue team arrives and positions the vehicle at a safe distance, its presence calm and controlled. I step aside just enough to allow space, while staying within sight of the baby elephant so it does not feel abandoned again. The baby elephant takes a few small, careful steps forward, testing the ground, regaining confidence with each movement. Its posture rises gradually, ears relaxing, body no longer frozen by fear but guided by instinct and relief. After a brief assessment, the rescue team clears a path toward a safer area of the savanna. I watch as the baby elephant moves in that direction, no longer surrounded, no longer hunted but guided toward protection. I stand still as the baby elephant reaches a safe distance and turns its body one last time in my direction. There is no sound, no gesture that can be called communication, only a quiet moment of shared stillness before it continues forward into safety, alive, and free under the open African sky.